Hey everybody, this is day 3 of my development journal, and in this one I want to show you a little bit of the updated lighting, and I want to talk a little bit about the design choices I've made for retexturing the props which are already in Left 4 Dead 2 so I can create a more alien atmosphere while saving time. So you can see this is the area which I showed you in the first development journal, and in some ways it's changed, in some ways it's the same. Let me fly around a little bit, and I'm just going to spawn some zombies so you can see the color effects on them. And since this is supposed to be a night map, and it's for a competition where one of the requirements is it's a night sort of atmosphere, the lighting, really showcases the detail and kind of gives life to this alien planet. And even though it does have a lot of Earth-like props, I'll show you in a little bit. And this is the cave area. If you remember from my first development journal, this is very different from how it was, because before it was just basically like a big open area, but I haven't gotten to that this area first yet, so. This is one of the areas which I've changed over the last 2 days. And I've had some lighting, and I really wanted to showcase off this little broken root right here because I thought it was really great detail. And before I go into the retextured props which are over in this area, I want to show everybody one of the ideas I came up with. One of the things I love doing with the prop system is I like taking props and then putting them in a way where they're not, like this right here is a tree, and it's actually the huge oak tree from Left 4 Dead, from Half-Life 2, and it's been ported through all the source games. And what I really wanted to do is I wanted to add these huge roots to the cave area to add a little bit more detail, otherwise it'd just be like a big open area. I did like the movie Avatar, and I do like the idea of like these huge trees that, give life to this jungle sort of alien planet. So, because of the way trees are actually built, if you just turn it upside down, it can actually make a pretty realistic sort of root. And all that really needs to be done is it doesn't even really need retexturing, because it has a pretty realistic texture already on it, and it's just one of the really neat things that a lot of people, whenever they think of roots, they don't think of like a tree, but it's basically just looks exactly like a tree. So this is one of the new areas that I was actually been in development for all yesterday and a good portion of today, and right here, this is one of the retextured props. This is actually the first retextured prop I've done for this. And the reason I chose it is because I wanted to make this field area where it does have some growth in it, but I could also play around with the refracting textures. And, here's some water, and hopefully in my next development journal will be translucent so you can actually see the refracting element on the rocks below. But, I really wanted to create an alien world, and one of the big problems with props is that there really aren't that many alien-like props in Source, because all of their games, all of Valve's games take place on Earth, and I didn't have nearly enough time to make a whole host of new props, and I thought it'd just be a lot of wasted time. So, kind of like an easy sort of cheat way to get around it is, I decided to just retexture props which are already in Left 4 Dead 2, and when they're compiled into the VPK, they overwrite the other models. And here's one where I just did a little bit of tweaking, and it created this really great alien sort of likeness. It's the sugarcane prop that's featured in Hard Rain. And all this cane right here is actually just one prop. And if you look really close, you can actually see it's the exact same grass texture, I still wanted it to be grass, but I wanted to add a little bit something to it so it could, illuminate the area down here. So I just add these like glowing balls onto the end of them, and as you can see, it's pretty simple. It's just a little dot. But when you look at it from far away, it kind of looks like this fairy light sort of illuminated area. So then all I need to do is I just took some lights, just light entities, placed them, changed the maximum draw distance for the light, and tweaked it. And what it did is it created this really great looking glowing field. And it's dense, so it does look pretty realistic. However, it also gives some really great frame rates. Sadly, I'm recording in fraps, and the max I can do is 60 frames per second. But on my PC, I get like 95 to 130 in this area. And if that doesn't make any sense, that doesn't really mean anything. When I made Freezer Burn, the average frames per second, which I was shooting for, was 60, especially in the high action areas. And there are times when it definitely dips below it. So hopefully I will go into the way I'm able to achieve that with all this detail in some of my next development logs. So let me spawn some zombies, and so you can see the great lighting effects. And again, just ignore the sky for right now. I haven't been able to make a new sky texture yet, but because this is at night, and you can see it creates this really cool effect on these zombies. And spawn some in the water. Here's my great little waterfall. And also in my next development log, I hope to actually put in the particle systems in here. It's supposed to have a lot of splashing particle systems, so it looks a lot more like a realistic waterfall. Let me just do a little bird's eye view of the map so everyone could see what it's looking like so far. And here is the beginning of one of my alien buildings. I'm actually going to talk more about that in my next development log too, because I am not finished doing them.